guys. Okay, let's take a look at all the groups. Yeah, we'll look at all the groups. When the World Cup started, we saw a wonderful pairing. We saw groups we thought were going to be very easy. I mean, we'd already put down our outlook. This and this is going to qualify. But my, oh my, we were not ready for the shocks. It started with GOAT into Asun. That was when I knew that this World Cup, Okpa. It started with Argentina, Saudi. That was an introduction to what, look, for me, I think that might be one of the biggest shocks ever.
Yes,
in the world of football, ever, anywhere.
That's why it's a beautiful game, isn't it? You know, we just had to experience that. You know, it was getting routine. You know, we knew that the Qatar-Ecuador game, sometimes it would be balanced, but we knew something like Ecuador would get the win. They looked like getting it from the start of the game. But the Argentina-Saudi game, nobody saw that coming. You know, Argentina took the lead expectedly. You know, Messi getting the penalty. But the second half, it was seeming like Argentina should go for more goals, but when the equalizer came, people were like, hey, what's going on here? And eventually they got the goal and they defended it for over 25 minutes and got the win over Argentina. Unfortunately, they could not take it on from there, but eventually it went on, it showed into the other groups, wow, what a World Cup, what a first round so far.
Okay, so Group A, of course, we had Ecuador and Netherlands make it. Was that expected from you guys? Let's round up with Group A.
No,
sorry, Senegal and Netherlands, pardon me.
Yes, that's my
That was the expectation, even without Sadio Mane,
Yeah.
because it was a big hit for me. A lot of people, I felt like this is going to be Sadio Mane's World Cup. And look, before the competition started, I had high hopes of Senegal. I still do. I feel like Senegal is the first team that can go. I mean, after 2002, 20 years after, the coach was the captain then. Yes. I feel like this is one team that can get into that quarterfinals and maybe semis. I feel so, with Sadio Mane.
Yes.
But without him, it's quite tricky.
They've been blunt going forward.
Yeah.
Without Sadio Mane, there's so much that they are losing. And that's not just about the goals. It's about the threat that he carries. It's about the assists. It's about the turns that he can make to provide spaces for the other guys. And the other player that could have just picked up the gauntlet and tried to add something is Ismail Assar. And he has been underperforming so far. So all the things we've been seeing, if you want to look at one or two players you can pick who has really done well for themselves, maybe Nampalys Mendy, maybe Sabali, and then this young man that came in for Yakub. He came in and he has been very Jacobs. Yeah, he has been good, and so it's not the Senegal that we saw at the Nations Cup.
The one that took out Egypt 2 times.
Yes. So I'm hoping that going into this round of 16 and they're playing against a very good side. When you look on paper,
the coach is the one holding that side down.
You look on paper, and this might just be that turning point for them. You can just look at the inspiration from the old team. So many of those guys were even in this tournament. I saw them there. Fadiga, the coach himself. Maybe they can just take inspiration from that 2002 set and play against England and get to the quarters again.
Let's go with Group B now. Yeah, Group B, of course, we know what happened. Let's take a look at the final standings for Group B there and go through how everything went on the World Cup. Yeah, so for Group B, we have England, USA, both qualified. Any shocks in this group? What are your expectations on this group? Did it happen as you expected?
England was supposed to qualify. I think the race was just supposed to be for second place. And USA, wow. Going into the tournament, dropping their reliable defender, John Brooks. People thought, well, can USA still pull this up? But Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie and the likes, they rose up to the occasion and finished above Wales. Iran also, you know, after losing that first game scandalously against England, they came back, they got the win against Wales. Wales has been very, very poor. Gareth Bale could not influence the team. But, England qualified as expected. USA joined them, and on to the next one. USA, the game today against the Netherlands.
Okay, all right, Sam. We'll take you on Group C and all about that. Look at how things went down in that particular group, how the guys played. Group C, of course, had Argentina, Poland, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia.
Yes, like we
mentioned, that was the shocker.
And I think it's still the biggest.
Well, it's just sad that
so
Saudi
far.
Arabia didn't qualify at the end of everything after beating Argentina.
But I think they already got their win, and that's for
they got what they got? Was it Porsches or Rolls Royce?
I think Rolls Royce and like okay for each team
and a holiday.
each player, and then a public holiday in the entire country. That really shows.
If they won the World Cup, we just close that next year.
So it's an inspiration for them because they're just one of 2 teams in the World Cup that have all their players in residing within the country. The other team being Qatar. England used to have that, but this time around they have a Jude Bellingham from Germany. That's the only player that outside England that is not in the tournament. So Saudi Arabia went in there, did their job, and then Mexico. This is the first time in 44 years Mexico will not be qualifying for the second round. So it's a shocker.
It's a shocker.
To anyone.
Nice one. Thank you, Sam.
They have something though.
All right,
One
Group
of
D.
the goals of the tournament.
Yeah, let's go with Group D.
Service.
Yeah, let's go with Group D. Now we have France, Australia making it out of that group. Tunisia, quite sorry for them. But Denmark has to be the shocker for that particular round. What happened to Christian Eriksen and the boys?
Absolutely, Mike, because people are even labeling them the dark horses, going into the tournaments. I think it's because of the way they gave us Euros 2020. We saw them recovering from that early setback. Christian Eriksen, when he collapsed, they came back, they got strong, they got to the semi-finals, took England all the way, but they couldn't get to the final. And people thought, okay, these guys, there's something about them. Also, they doubled up, beating France back-to-back in the Nations League. So people were like, oh, Denmark should do something.
Expectation was high.
Very high, with Skovolsin, Cornelius. They have good young players, going into the tournament. So, it just didn't work out for them. Very poor. Very poor on them.
All right. Okay, moving on to Group E now. We have Japan, Spain, Germany, and Costa Rica. Japan topped this group.
Unbelievable.
Japan topped this group. Japan, my team of the tournament, by the way, my open play. These are my guys. Okay. Konnichiwa, Ohio.
Super cleaners.
Yeah.
Arigato, gozaimatsu. Yeah. The super cleaners, clean every rubbish. In one World Cup, they beat Germany and Spain. How many times can a team do that? These are 2. I was talking to somebody. I said, these are 2 traditional teams. These are 2 of the teams amongst the big 8s that have won the World Cup.
Yes.
You beat 2 of them in one tournament in the first round. That is big.
Germany has 4 World Cups. Spain has 1. Like you said, one of the 8 teams to have ever won the World Cup.
Yeah.
You have having the 19th edition of the World Cup, I think, and these guys. How can you do that?
It's unbelievable.
And on both occasions, they came back from behind.
They
were losing at halftime. 1-0 at halftime, and they came back winning 2-1, 2-1. Everyone should be careful of this.
It should be. But for me,
goals, I think about 6 goals in the last
70
games,
minutes, yes.
Within
that range. But for me, the shocker has to be Enrique's face when he saw that they were going out and he could not do anything. Luis Enrique would have cooked him. All right, but let's move on. Let's move on very fast. We have Group F. We will take Group F and G and H. We'll just rush over all of them. Morocco, Croatia. Morocco topped that group. Great one for Africa. Morocco is the second other country, apart from Nigeria, that have topped any group ever at the World Cup. Kudos to them, right?
Yes, big one. 1986 and now again 2002. I mean,
wonderful.
2022.
Wonderful.
Poor Belgium, too.
Oh, gosh. We got to cook Belgium. We'll talk about that one. We got to cook Belgium. But let's rush over Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia. Brazil, of course, and Switzerland. Switzerland, in that very interesting match yesterday against Serbia. 3-2. Wonderful match. Vlahovic, Mitrovic, both of them were on form. Our guy, what's his name now? For Shaqiri, Sheridan Shaqiri, and Bolo. It was a beautiful match. The first half, the guys came out, Geti Granit Xhaka, wonderful guys.
You notice how the ref was looking at Shaqiri? He thought he was going to do that eagle celebration. Hey, I'm going to card you. I will card you.
Exactly.
Do that.
Exactly.
But Shaqiri took it low. Okay, we are not doing that.
Yeah.
Serbia and Switzerland.
Exactly. We know all of that. Exactly.
They have a long history, and Brazil was supposed to top that group.
Okay, and they did.
Down.
But that lost to Cameroon, yeah? That lost to Cameroon. Number of people are not happy. They brought in aeroplane Tonton. That's what I call Anthony, by the way. But we had a whole second team, which I think was good enough to beat Cameroon. That's a good second team.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, you have Fabinho, you have Fred, you have Martinelli, you have Gabriel Jesus. And then look at the back line. You had Eder Militao. You had Bremer. You had Bremer. You had Daniel Alves. It was and then Ederson. Ederson, Team B, come on, man.
Sometimes football can be fun, and that's when you look at stats sometimes. we're talking about Spain losing. And the team that beat them had only 17% of possession. Yesterday, against the Cameroon game, Brazil had over 20 attempts at goal. But their first shot on target was in the 45th minute. They didn't have any shot on target facing them in the first two games. The first one they were going to have was in the 45th minute of that game, but they eventually lose it. And I really just want to point out this. A lot of people are praising Abubakar. He scored a goal. But I think this is something I've argued on another platform, is that you don't do that to your team. You are the captain. You're on a yellow card. You scored a goal.
And
Sam, then you decided
hold your
to
thoughts
go
there.
on.
We'll bring down Abubakar in due time. Let's just round up one word. Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay, Ghana. One word for Ghana.
They should just come back and chop. They don't go. Those guys. Nobody should celebrate them at the Kotoka airport when they comes back. Nobody should.
They come and chop Banku and Tilapia.
And Uruguay also flopped like Denmark. Federico
Uruguay.
Valverde hype, Vecino.
See, I don't know.
Come on.
Yesterday was one time I saw someone cry and I was really happy.
Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez. The guy's tears gave me tears of joy.
I also depends on Twitter. People were saying we are going to pay for what you did in 2010, and eventually.
Wonderful. We'll talk about that and much more. But we'll just take this short time out. When we get back, we're looking at the second round of fixtures. It's happened. The men. We're looking at the men. The boys have gone home. The boys, Germany and Belgium, are part of the boys. The men, Japan, and the rest. Now we'll talk about them when we get back after this.